cerveza.
Standard field
Le
sobriety
dieron
tests
las
were performed.
pruebas de campo,
4 out of 6
4 de un 6,
HDN,
HDN,
4 out of 8
4 de
walk
un
and
8,
turn,
caminar y voltear,
3 out of
y
4 one
3
leg
en
stand.
4 para una pierna.
The defendant consented to breath
El acusado dio permiso para dar su aliento
and he blew a
y sopló
.08.
.08.
You said that he
Eh,
5 times
5 veces
failed to maintain a single lane of traffic.
una vía de carril.
And you said that he slowed down
Su
and then he
velocidad.
sped up.
Yes, Judge.
What else?
¿Qué más?
Because as far as the 5, that's just completely conclusory. So I take nothing with it, right? I mean, everybody slows down, goes back fast. So
Bajan su velocidad.
what else do you have as far as any kind of traffic infraction other than that?
That's
Aparte
what
de
I'm
eso,
reading in
eso es lo que leo.
this, Judge. Let me see if there's
En
any
esto,
more
señor,
information in the office.
Su señoría, deje ver si hay programas en la defensa, en el reporte.
It does say that
Dice
after the
que
emergency equipment was turned on,
se
the
prendió
suspect failed
el
to
equipo
pull
de
over for
emergencia.
approximately 2 minutes.
Él no se paró por aproximadamente 2 minutos.
I don't know if he articulated more maybe in an OR, but there's just not much there. I mean, Blaze, I can give you a little bit of time if you want to try
Yeah,
to pull the
sure. I mean,
OR, maybe
yeah.
like 10, 15 minutes.
Y más para que miren a ver lo que hay. Otros 10 o 15 minutos. Y que no se mantuvo en una vía, en un carril.
Okay. All right, Mr. Pavez Vargas, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause to go forward in your case. Sir, we have enough death and destruction on our streets as it is. Be mindful of this. If you want to have 15 beers, 32 shots of tequila, take an Uber. Save yourself the trouble.
Tal vez
Do you understand?
entiende.
Yes, sí.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Please.
All right, Judge, council is approaching on page 9. Mata, come on up.
Good morning, Judge.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Mata. Sir, you're charged with, it's just an UCW, right?
Yes, Judge.
You're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On February 15th, officers observed a vehicle with unconfirmed insurance status. A traffic stop was initiated. The officers observed the smell of marijuana coming from the vehicle. The defendant stated that he had marijuana in the car. The defendant handed officers a glass jar containing a blunt of marijuana. There was another half-burnt blunt inside the jar. Officers found a loaded .45 handgun in the driver's side door pocket.
All right, Mr. Mata, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. The only conditions I'm putting on your bond now is that you are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand? If you do not have car insurance, don't drive. It's a part of your bond conditions. I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. Doesn't matter. Car insurance is an important thing that you must maintain. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to have them fill out bond paperwork for you to sign. After that, you'll be free to go. There are no other conditions. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. Otherwise, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail likewise. You've got a lawyer. She will take care of you. She will tell you when you have to come back to court. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time, but stay in touch with counsel. I'll have you sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. You sign it, and then you'll be free to go. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks.
Have fun.
You too.
All right, Judge, next is page 2 and 3. Castillo, Edgar. Go ahead and sign for this.
You are on bond for a theft, and now you've picked up another theft and an evading arrest. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 13th, officers were dispatched to a theft call at Lowe's. The officer spoke to the complaining witness, who's the loss prevention officer. The loss prevention officer stated that the defendant entered the store and put a speaker into his backpack. The loss prevention officer followed the defendant around the store. The defendant walked out of the store, passing all points of sale.
Hold on.
To purchase the item.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
I was going to give him a coloring book. Okay, go ahead. So he's in Lowe's?
Yes.
All right.
The complaining witness attempted to stop the defendant. The defendant did not stop. The officer was on scene when the complaining witness was attempting to stop the defendant. The officer told the defendant to stop running and the defendant did not comply. The defendant ran approximately half a mile from the Lowe's. The officer caught up with the defendant on the third floor of an apartment complex. The defendant attempted to resist detainment. The value of the item stolen was $129. And the defendant started to run from the complaining witness towards the nearby apartment.
Mr. Castillo, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on your theft and your evading arrest. Deputy Miranda, I'm now revoking your bond on your first case. You will now go into custody. I told you not to pick up any new cases. You've picked up 2 new cases. You will now stay with me. Goes with you.
I'm sorry about that, sir.
Can you appoint him a lawyer, please? I will appoint you a lawyer now and we'll talk, but no, you can't continue. Unacceptable.
Good, what's the new bond amount?
5,002
We're voting on the original.
on the original theft, right? So, where was the first one from? And now we're at Lowe's.
Yes.
Okay, so now no more any, I guess, home improvement stores in Houston, including Lowe's, Home Depot, what, Bearings. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Let's roll.
Next judge is page 4, Fraser.
You are Trevon Frazier. Mr. Frazier, you're charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers were dispatched to burglary of a motor vehicle. CW, the complaining witness Hargrove and complaining witness Vargas stated that their backpacks were stolen from their work truck. They stated that their vehicle was unlocked. A witness was able to provide ring camera footage showing a suspect walking across the street to the vehicle. A few minutes afterwards, it was found that complaining witness Hargrove's phone was used to send $400 via Cash App from the complaining witness Hargrove's to the defendant. Officers were able to use this transaction to get a picture of the defendant through the Cash App. The complaining witness Hargroves sent this photo to a cousin and said that a friend knew the defendant from high school. Officers looked on social media sites and matched the pictures to the Cash App account.
Okay. Mr. Frazier, so you also had a theft case. I didn't realize. So you're charged with theft. You're also charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. When was this? Was this in the middle of the night?
It was at.
The B&B?
It sounds like, the officers were dispatched at 6:23 PM.
Hmm.
Sorry, Judge, 2:23 PM.
So 2:22 in the afternoon. Okay. Mr. Frazier, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. Do you understand? I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person of Harris County. And if that means making you bond really high and putting you in custody, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
How old are you, sir?
28. I work at a nursing home. I work at a nursing home.
So you do work.
Yes.
Do you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, sir? Okay, Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application for an appointed lawyer. I'm going to have you supervised. You're not to be in possession of any weapons as well. Do you understand? I'm telling you, behave yourself while you're out there in the free world, because if you don't, the free world will be taken from you. Please, y'all, no contact with the complaining witness. Please.
All right, Judge, next is page 5. Guzman, come on up.
Good morning, Mr. Guzman. Sir, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to a year in jail because of the deadly weapon paragraph. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 2nd, 2025, at approximately 5:30 PM, officer was dispatched to 1201 Spencer Highway in Harris County, Texas, for criminal trespass. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the complaining witness, who stated that the defendant attempted to stab him with a knife in the parking lot. Officers attempted to make contact with the defendant, and the defendant began running north through a strip center and tried to hide behind the strip center. The officers told the defendant to get on the ground, and he continued to walk toward officers and refused to take his hands out of his pocket. The defendant was arrested. Officers retraced the defendant's path and located a knife. The defendant admitted to having the knife and stated several males tried to jump him in the parking lot. The defendant stated one male tried to stab him and he was defending himself. Officers spoke to the complaining witness again. They said that he was in the store purchasing items and the defendant was asked to leave by the employees in the store. Complaining witness stated that the defendant refused to leave and got into a verbal altercation with the employees. The defendant left, then waited outside in the parking lot and started asking people for money. The complaining witness told the defendant that employees had asked him to leave. The defendant pulled out a knife and brandished it in his hand and started walking towards the complaining witness. The complaining witness stated that there was about 25 feet between them. The witness saw the defendant walk towards the complaining witness.
So he goes back into the store after he leaves and after they told him to leave.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Guzman, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Let me tell you that you're lucky that you're not charged with multiple felonies as well as it is, you know? I am ordering you not to be in possession of weapons and not to go back to this place. Do you understand?
Sure.
If I find that you become a danger to my community, I only have one place for you, Mr. Guzman. You know, really. Where was this? Please.
Coming back as a high-tech auto sound.
Do you need a lawyer today, Mr. Guzman?
Sir, I do.
Okay. I already have an affidavit from Deputy Randall. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you go sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. I'm going to find you a lawyer here momentarily. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions.
Sir.
You have missed court once. This is your second PR bond that they gave you. You will not get another one. If you miss court again, I'm telling you, your bond will, no more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Thank you
I'm
for.
giving you a lawyer. All you need to do is stay out of trouble. Make wise decisions.
Sir, could I say,
No,
I just want
don't.
to thank you for,
Just,
I called last week and I was supposed to come. I had a car problem, but I didn't even think, thank you for giving me the second chance on the PR bond. You know, and I mean, I called, but I understand.
you're out. All I'm asking you to do is make good decisions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
Give you a lawyer here momentarily. Just, all right. All right. Hang tight. Let me have you sign the reset and then we'll have you go back.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, Judge, next is page 6.
So no weapons, no
Harrison,
going back.
Come on up.
Thanks.
Go ahead and sign.
Oh,
Page 6, Harrison.
this is the one where we were, you remember? It was like maybe 2 days ago, the two Bs.
Yes, yeah, oh, yes, sir. I did.
Good morning, Ms. Harrison.
Hey, good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with tampering with the government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On February 15th, officers observed a vehicle temporarily tagged. The officers ran a temporary tag and returned to court. Defendant Martin was the driver and defendant Harrison was the passenger. Defendant Harrison stated that she was the owner of the vehicle and that she had purchased the tag from an unknown individual off Facebook.
Okay. Ms. Harrison, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you run her license, see if she has a valid Texas driver license, please?
Yes, just
Okay. Ms. Harrison, did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Apply for one.
Okay. So Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application. Do not drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand? These are your bond conditions. If I find that you're driving without either, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. Understand, man?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please.
All right, Judge, next is page 7, Huddleston.
Good morning, Mr. Huddleston. Sir, you're charged with tampering with a government record. You were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 16th, officers observed a vehicle with a temporary tag which came back with no return. A traffic stop was conducted. The defendant was the driver and sole occupant. The defendant stated he knew about the tag and had been pulled over the week prior. The defendant stated his mom went to the dealership and bought a new buyer's tag for the car. The defendant did not know how much the new tag was bought for.
So why does Mr. Huddleston get charged then? Oh, it's pled differently. It's pled differently. That's why. See. it's pled here as use as opposed to purchasing, you know? And I think that that's why. So let me see.
And I did notice some, it showed up as tampering with the record of insurance document, but it looks like on the complaint, it is tampering with the record. Here, right, the complaint.
Hmm. Hereinafter style the defendant heretofore February 16th did then and there unlawfully, intentionally, and knowingly use a governmental record, namely Texas temporary tag attached hereto as Exhibit A with knowledge of its falsity. So one of the parts is it says with knowledge of its falsity.
Yes, Judge.
Does he know of its falsity?
Well, upon the officer approaching the vehicle,
Okay.
he knew immediately what the traffic stop was for. That he'd been pulled over the week prior because of it.
He had been
Yes.
and advised that it was no good. Yes, read it one more time.
Officers observed the temporary tag which came back with no return. A traffic stop was conducted. The defendant was the driver and sole occupant. The defendant stated he knew about the tag and he had been
Okay.
pulled over for the week.
Right. Okay. All right. Mr. Huddleston, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you run his license, see if he has a valid Texas license, please? I am ordering you as a condition of your bond, sir, not to drive any vehicle unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These are your bond conditions, meaning that if you don't follow these bond conditions, a warrant for your arrest will be issued. You will go to jail. No more PR bonds. What's more is you are on felony probation. You've now picked up a new case. Best be on the lookout. It's very possible that they now issue a warrant on you.
His license is valid, Judge.
Okay, so you mind filing that then? No driving with that both, please. Tell me, Mr. Huddleston, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No.
I'll have you fill out an application. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. All right? Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. You understand? Okay, come on.
Next, Judge, is page 10. Murdoch, come on up.
Good morning, Mr. Murdoch. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 16th, officers observed a blue Kia Forte at 6300 Antoine Drive. The officers observed the vehicle make a U-turn where there's a prohibited U-turn sign. A traffic stop was initiated. Officers had previously observed this vehicle pulling out of a known after-hours bar located at 6314 Antoine Drive, Harris County, Texas. The defendant was a driver. Officers observed bloodshot eyes and a strong odor of alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking 2 Bud Lights. Standard field sobriety tests were performed, 6 out of 6 HGN, 1 out of 4 one-leg stand, and 4 out of 8 walking turn. The officer observed a 12-ounce Bud Light bottle of beer that was open and about 3/4 full upon an injury.
Drinking in the car while driving.
There were also 2 unopened shooters of tequila and meal console. The defendant consented to breath. TAC came back as 0.112 and 0.109.
I missed the basis for the stop. Can you tell me that one more time?
They saw the vehicle perform a U-turn in an area where the U-turn was prohibited.
Okay. Mr. Murdoch, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I would figure that it was damn elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you're driving. I am now taking away your privilege to drive. You were not allowed to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. And I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is if there's a burning building and you have to save 50 children. Do you understand? Every time you drive, it's punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Can you look to see if he has any priority to the ice, please? Look, what kind of, does he have any priority to the ice, please?
No, Judge, no priority to the ice.
Okay. Mr. Murdoch, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you if I find that you're using. Likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir? I'll have you fill out an application. I'll see whether you qualify. Heed this warning, Mr. Murdoch. You will not get another one. Do not become a danger to my city. All right?
Get this way. Next judge is page 7, Jimenez. Come on up.
How long was this last one? Let's look back at source right here.
You are Edgar Jimenez. You speak English?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jimenez, you're charged with assault of a family member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir. Shh. Okay.
On February 4th, officers were dispatched to a domestic dispute. The complaining witness stated that she and the defendant had been in a dating relationship for 1.5 years. The complaining witness stated that on that day, the defendant pushed her to the ground, causing pain and an abrasion on her elbow. The officer observed the abrasion on her elbow. The complaining witness stated that the defendant had assaulted her continuously over the course of the relationship and had been doing progressive divorce.
The bond is set at $10,000, which is just extremely high. Do you know why? Complaining witness reported to law enforcement that she is assaulted by defendant at least once per month. Defendant exhibited a firearm during the instant assault. Mr. Jimenez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are not to be in possession of any weapons. If I find that you violate either, I will take the bond and I'm going to go nuts on this bond. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Your bond is already set at $10,000, so you can imagine if it gets revoked, how high it'll go. There's a protective order that was issued on the 20th of the month. I would get to know it. If you violate any of the conditions on this protective order, the state can and probably will file a violation of protective order. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up here. Do you understand? You violate conditions on a violation of a protective order, I can have a hearing to hold you at no bond, zero bond, and I will do it in a heartbeat to protect every person in my county. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Is there any allegation of alcohol or drug usage, anything like that?
It does say in the recall that is given treatment, but I don't know exactly what that is for. Judge.
Mr. Jimenez, I am ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, your bond will be revoked. You will go into custody. Do you understand? Okay. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'll first have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'm going to have you get with police if your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go. Be careful while you're out there. Do you understand? You get no more warnings. All right?
All right, Judge, next is page 11, Norton, come on up.
Are you Jackson Norton?
Sir.
Mr. Norton, you were charged with 2 counts of assault bodily injury. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
February 15th, officers responding to 1025 West Mass Parkway, Bar Buckwild in Harris County, Texas, regarding a disturbance. The first complainant stated that he was located at the bar ordering drinks and was in a conversation with the defendant. After the complainant turned around and the defendant struck him on the right side of his face. A second complainant stated that he observed that the defendant was leaning over the first complainant, physically hitting the first complainant. In an attempt to break it up, the second complainant grabbed the defendant, and the defendant turned around and punched him on the side of the head. The second complainant stated that he believed he was unconscious for multiple seconds. When he woke up, he was laying on the ground. The defendant left the establishment where his bouncers were able to locate and detain the defendant in the parking lot. A witness, the bartender, observed he still on the second complainant. The second complainant had injuries to the left side of his face where it was pink, and there appeared to be broken blood vessels under the skin, with small laceration near the end of his eyebrow, where there was a small amount of blood. The first complainant advised he felt pain and had a small lesion on the end of his elbow next to his eyebrow next to his hair.
So we have 2 assaults that were dismissed early last year. Any of the complaining witnesses the same?
No, Judge.
Same set of facts, whereas alcohol as well?
The previous assaults happened at a high school graduation party.
But there was alcohol?
Yes, Judge, it's not like that was alcohol.
Mr. Norton, I'm now going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm now putting an ankle monitor on you so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. If I find that you do, I will put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond high. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We're now working on our 4th, so I will do everything in my power to protect my public at all costs. Do not use alcohol, do not use illegal drugs, no weapons, no going to any bars, clubs, establishments where it's 50% or more alcohol, no going out in the middle of the night. You will get a curfew as well.
Judge GPS. Whisper.
Sure.
9 to 6.
Sure, yeah.
Judge, I leave earlier in the morning for work.
I'll give you a lawyer. I'll have the lawyer talk with you, work out any kind of detail, but my concern and my only concern is the protection of my city, and I'm going to do it at all costs.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Nothing else matters to me in this life right now. If I find that you're a danger, I only have one place for you.
Yes, sir.
Waive all the fees, please. Mr. Norton, I'll have you fill out an application for an appointed lawyer and I'll see whether you qualify. I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application. I'll have you take your seat in the jury box. Do not leave until you sign all the conditions. And then I'll take a look at the application, sir.
Judge, next is page 13. Rodriguez, come on up.
With either of the complaining witnesses, right? You know, going to like bars, clubs. You, Luis Gilberto Rodriguez.
Sir.
Mr. Rodriguez, you were charged with reckless driving. You were facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
14 officers were assigned to traffic crimes unit in Harris County, Texas on an operation targeting illegal street racing and parking lot takeovers in an undercover capacity. An officer at 11737 East Tex Freeway in Harris County, Texas, observed the driver of a 2007 flatbed Ram with one multiple donuts in the parking lot. The vehicle was maneuvered in tight circular motions, causing the rear tires to lose traction and produce visible smoke at all stations. That Ram headed towards the exit of the parking lot when the vehicle executed a burnout, causing its tires to emit smoke and a loud screeching noise. As the driver of the Dodge Ram initiated a turn to proceed east on East Mount Houston Road, while the vehicle fishtailed. During the maneuver, the Dodge Ram flew close to striking several vehicles and almost suffered multiple accidents. The officers conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle.
Got it. Can you look to see any priors of this same or similar nature? Please.
Yes, Judge, I'm not showing any criminal history.
No? Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, or one more thing, if you can look for a license, please,
Yes.
valid license. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Let me just give you a little warning that the Texas legislature has made it very easy for DAs across the state of Texas to seize and take cars for people who participate in this type of activity. In fact, I think that there was a news conference maybe 2 days ago where they're cracking down on this type of behavior. And I've seen it where here we have people who've had their cars seized and taken when they're multiple times in this. Do you understand? I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in any street takeovers, donuts, reckless driving, anything of this nature. If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail.
Yes, sir.
And then I will take your driving privileges away.
Sir.
Do you understand?
Sir.
So do you mind filing that? No reckless driving, donuts, et cetera. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, how old are you, sir?
18, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer? Okay. Deputy Miranda, Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application. I'll have you sign a receipt, Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Do you
Yes, sir.
understand? Okay.
All right, Judge, next is page 14, Shaw. And then sign it. All right, go and see the deputy.
I'm right in front of Judge.
John. Mr. Shaw, you're charged with tampering with a government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 12th, officers observed the defendant's motor vehicle bearing a paper Texas tag. And an NCIC, TCIC search of the tag came back with no results, so a traffic stop was initiated. Officers made contact with the defendant. Defendant said that he purchased the motor vehicle approximately 2 months ago for $2,000 from a mutual acquaintance, but did not have title to the vehicle and did not have insurance or proof of financial responsibility. and that he purchased the tag from a separate mutual acquaintance for $80. The defendant stated that the paper tag was not affixed to the rear of the motor vehicle he purchased, and that he purchased the tag separately until he could have the motor vehicle registered.
Mr. Shaw, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand?
Yes.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today, which is a promise that you're going to make to me that you're not going to drive without either. If you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Bond forfeiture citation on both sides.
Okay. Mr. Shaw, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? I will take a look at an application. I need you to fill it out for me. I need to know everything about you, what kind of car you drive, how much money you have at the bank, how much money you make. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify.
Yes, sir.
For now, I'm going to have you also sign this affidavit that you're not to drive without insurance as well.
Judge, is that also going to be a state's call condition?
No, I'll just have him do this.
Okay. Go ahead and sign for your receipt, please. Next, Judge, is a Spanish speaker, page 14. Soto, come on up.
Buenos días, señor.
Buenos
Yo
días.
soy su intérprete.
¿Cómo?
Yo soy su intérprete. Intérprete.
Oh, intérprete.
Sí.
Oh,
Por favor, conteste a voz alta, señor.
sí.
You are Mr. Soto.
Es el señor
Soto,
Soto Salazar.
You were charged with
Ha sido
theft.
acusado con robo.
You were facing up to 6 months in jail
6 meses en la
and or a $2,000 fine.
una multa de $2,000.
We're going to do probable cause.
Es probable, ella no va a leer.
You have the right to remain silent.
Derecho a mantener silencio.
Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Será usado en su contra.
You have the right to have an
Tiene el
attorney
derecho a tener un
present.
abogado
If
presente.
you cannot
Si
afford
usted
one,
no puede pagarle a
we'll get one to
uno
you.
se le nombrará.
On February 15th,
El 15 de febrero,
officers were
los oficiales
dispatched
fueron
to code
despachados
3 shoplifting
a un
arrests
código 3
to a Target in
a
Harris
una
County,
tienda
Texas.
Target en el condado Harris, Texas.
The loss prevention
El
officer
oficial de
stated
de
that on
prevención